Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're doing fine and I hope you voted. Um I got I was on Facebook and I saw this article on what people say about MS, and it came up with some really interesting quotes of what people tend to say when they hear someone has MS, and it's just how funny and how uncomfortable people get about it, and just it made me laugh because honestly, it rings true. Yes, I have MS and I was diagnosed in 1999 and I've been living with it, and that's why I do these vlogs, because I'm walking while I can. And I'm not saying I'm not going to walk ever again or it's going to stop or I'm on a time schedule before I stop walking. I just walk while I can walk. And it could either be, I stop from MS or anything, anything and everything. So that's why I call it my walk. Anyway, it's just interesting that some of the things were like, you got MS? You don't look sick. You got MS? It was probably from, getting too many Diet Cokes. Yeah, that was a whole thing. Diet Coke was supposedly one of the causes of MS, or the vaccinations. You shouldn't get vaccinated. That's been known to cause MS. Or oh, you've got MS? Is it contagious? Or you know, you have MS? Do you have kids? You should be having a ton of them because that'll stop your MS. Think about it. Yeah, right. You have MS? Let's see. Oh, this is my favorite. I'll come up with others as we go along. Just say to yourself, you may have MS, but MS does not have you. Okay, number one, I have MS. And yes, it does have me. And when I say it like that, I don't want people to say, yes, I've surrendered, I'm going to die. Oh, woe is me. No, I have a disease that basically changes how I do things. And I have to adapt my life in order to do it. And 1 second I could be this, and 1 second I could be that. Like with MS, sudden fatigue. It just comes out of nowhere. And I may look totally fine, but my body just breaks down because it's tired. It comes with MS because it's in a constant war with itself. Just because of what MS does to your system. Not only your nervous system, your brain. It's just a constant battle that your body is going through within itself. That's what MS is. That's what I see it as. If anybody else with MS has their own opinion about it, please let me know, because I'm just giving you what I see. About the thing with children, by the way. Okay, here's what you gotta do. And this is my neurologist. When I was first married and diagnosed, he said, well, if you decide you want to have children, you can't be on your meds for at least a year. And then there's the 9 months of having the child. And then if you plan on breastfeeding afterwards, for as long as that is. And then you get back on your meds. So I will, if I decide to have a child, which is never going to happen, number one, I would have to be off my meds for about a year. And then the 9 months to have the child, and then anytime after, especially if I want to breastfeed. So you're talking about close to 2 years off my meds. Now, if you decide you want to have a child and you have MS, by all means, go right ahead. I just can't do that. I've been off my meds for about a year one time when my doctor and I just My doctor changed his practice and we couldn't find each other. And that wasn't good. My MS did get worse. Because I remember once we found each other and he had me do an MRI and he saw that my MS was getting worse in the sense that I had got more lesions on my brain. I can tell he was visibly angry and frustrated because the meds that I was on at the time, which is the Tysabri that you guys see me always get infused on, it was working and it was doing really well and it was stopping the growth of those lesions. But the fact that I was off for about a year and we couldn't find each other for about a year, it did a number. Plus the strain on one's body. A woman's body when she's having a baby, there's another life growing into you, so all the energy and all the strength that you have, you're giving to that newborn. So I'm not saying kids are a bad thing. It's just like you've seriously got to look at it. If you get MS and then decide to have a child, there's a lot of risks involved. If you've had children before and then were diagnosed, more power to you. Seriously, I am not shooting it down at all. I'm just telling you that's why I'm not doing it. Well, number one, I don't want to have children. And number two, it will do a number on you. So anyway, moving on from that, because I don't want to get on that whole not having kids rant. That's a different story altogether. So I don't look sick. Psst. Hello, I'm sick. The fatigue, it comes and goes on its own. I can't help it. It is what it is. Like I said, my body is constantly at a war with itself because of what causes MS, which are plaque, which blocks the signals to my brain. So those plaques are working like a little bit of a double agent, playing both sides. I'm going to make this quick because I did another one before and that was like almost like 12, 13 minutes. This I'm going to keep under 10. Anyway, the whole thing about the Diet Coke and, the vaccines. Pooh. MS comes because it comes. They are still trying to figure out what's its cause and what's its cure. Let me tell you something. Nobody in my family has it. I am the only one throughout my whole family line that we know of that has it. I say it's, honestly, the luck of the draw. Everyone's like, oh, it's not lucky. No, it's not lucky. It did a number on me. It changed my life. I'm not the same person I was before I was diagnosed. I like the person I've become since. I had to make the change. I had to accept what's happening, and I dealt with it. Anyway, but there were people that get it way worse than I do. There are people that get it better, where they just get one attack, boom, that's it, but they still have it, and it's theirs for lifelong. I met somebody who was like that, and she's fine, but she has it. I met people who had it and get worse. It happens. Anyway, so that's enough of that. Guys, like I said, you have any questions or any comments, state them. I'm waiting to hear from you. Be respectful is all I ask, because as you can see, my fan mail can be a little weird at times, but you guys, just giving you a heads up. I'm going to post those articles around and you can take a look and see for yourself. Do research. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. Anyway, have a good night. It is 6 o'clock on the 5th, so I'll be posting this tomorrow. I'll see you guys.